our full-blown acceleration here in the manual mode. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Maserati Ghibli S GranSport. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Maserati here of Salt Lake for giving me some time with this Ghibli. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 424 horsepower and then 428 pound-feet of torque. And just look at this engine bay. It's a thing of beauty. I love how symmetrical everything is, and just the overall aesthetic and setup just looks perfect. Now let's go over the front end of this Ghibli. So first off, I love this dark metallic gray paint. It looks absolutely fantastic, especially here in the blisteringly hot sunlight. Just look at how it goes with the body lines. Like, that is just absolute perfection. Coming down below, we've got these full LED lights. I love the accent lights that come down. It just looks absolutely perfect. And then we've got parking sensors here all along the front end. We've got the signature Maserati Trident and then another Maserati logo just up above. And then you've got nice venting here at the very bottom, and then here on the side. And then I love all of the up and down slats there on the front part of the grille. Hopefully you guys can see that a little bit better. But yeah, overall super unique looking on the front end, and I love it. It looks so aggressive and beautiful at the same time. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front, and then two 85mm tires, again wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the back. And then this one does have red brake calipers. They've got the Maserati logo on them as well. And then I like how this one has the blacked out wheels. It kind of contrasts nicely with everything else on the car and gives this more of a stealth type appearance. But also, look at the size of that front brake rotor, pretty crazy. I've always liked the little venting pieces there on the side, just as like kind of an added aesthetic piece. Got your GranSport logo. Notice the mirrors are blacked out, and then all of the trim here around the windows is also blacked out. And then you do get a Maserati logo there on the back. But here's your side profile. Hopping here into the trunk area, there's quite a bit of storage space. There is this nice covering here on the bottom portion, but you can see back here just all of the storage space here in the back. Again, it is a larger size sedan, so it does make sense. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for the back. And also, you've got the little, look at this thing. You got the little handle there with the guy running out of it. I think that's pretty cool, but so yeah. Finishing things up here in the back end, well, I'll unlock it so you guys can see the LED lights here. I love how sharp the LEDs are in the back. We've got a Maserati logo, your SQ4, because this does have four-wheel drive, well, all-wheel drive. Either way, anyways, we've got the Ghibli logo over there, and then I love the look of the exhaust tips here, and the exhaust sounds really nice, actually. You guys will hear that in a little bit. And then same thing there on the other side, and that's all for the rear. Now here's the door panel in the back. First off, we've got this beautiful leather here with the red stitching, and then we've got beautiful black trim with the metallic trim that goes all the way to the door handle, and then nice leather here, again, more stitching, and then down below, just leather covering everything. And then here are the back seats, which I think are a work of art. So we've got the Maserati logo, we've got really nice stitching, and then I love the stitching design all throughout the back seats themselves. And then notice we do have some vents here for the back passengers. This pulls down to be an armrest. All you have to do is just kind of pull that tab, and then you've got that with the cup holders and some extra storage space as well. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for the back seating area. So yeah. Now let's go over the door panel here in the front. So again, we've got that same beautiful leather here with the red stitching, and then the nice design down below. More red stitching and leather. We've got the black trim with the door handle. I just love the aesthetic of that. This does have memory seats. We've got all of our window controls, and then the mirrors do power fold in. This comes with the Harman Kardon sound system. Again, we've got the Maserati logo, and then here is the front seat. So we still have the Trident at the top. Same design as what you get in the back. Really nice bolstering here on the seat, and got my shadow right there. Sorry about that. There's your adjustments on the seat, and then the pedal layout, which looks really nice. Got the light control here, and then we do have the push button on that side, and just look at the size of those paddles. But there's one more look before we pop in. So here is the steering wheel. We've got the beautiful leather at the top and at the bottom portion. I love the perforated leather as well. Just looks really nice, the overall design of the steering wheel. Again, Maserati Trident in the center. And we've got our normal practical car stuff. So your phone control, voice command controls, cruise control, and your lane keep assist on the other side. But my favorite part paddle shifters, and yes, they're mounted to the column just like a Ferrari. I don't know, I have a thing for that. Anyways, you've got the little stalk there for the windshield wiper slash turn signal, and yeah, that's all for the steering wheel. Here is the center gauge cluster in the Ghibli. Notice that you've got kind of analog gauges for the speed and for the RPMs. And then we do have the screen here in the center. This might look familiar to some of you. Super practical, easy to use, and yeah, that's pretty much everything for that part of the center screen. Now this does have a couple different drive modes. So we have a sport mode, which will open up the valves on the exhaust. And then we have a normal mode. And then we also have an ice mode as well, and it just shows you a little depiction there in the center screen. But yeah, that's everything for the gauge cluster. So we have our Maserati clock here, and it has a little leather hat because it's its own separate part. It's not like a part of the rest of the dash, and so I don't know, it looks cool. But the rest of the dash is beautiful. Completely covered in leather, really nice stitching, just yeah, really nice. And then coming down below here, we've got our center infotainment system. Pop it into reverse first. Notice we've got a backup camera, and then notice you can go through a couple different viewpoints, and then you do get that bird's eye view. So from a parking perspective, it's great, and the mirrors do tilt down in reverse. Now let's actually go over the infotainment system. So first off, I really like the look of the infotainment system. This is Maserati's newer unit, and yeah, it just has this nice modern aesthetic to it. Notice you can activate some stuff like the rear sunshade, which we probably need today because it is just disgustingly hot here in Utah. But aside from that, response time on it is great. It's really easy to use. You've got shortcut buttons here at the bottom portion to go through everything, and it's just really easy to access. Also, this has dual zone climate, it has heated and ventilated seats and a heated steering wheel, and yeah, that's all for the center screen. Here's the analog controls there for the climate system, and then we've got our shifter for the 8-speed automatic transmission. Notice it has leather on it, beautiful metallic trim, and then the Maserati logo. And then we have our stability control right here, the auto stop start, our ice mode, sport mode, and this is for the suspension. Hazard lights right in front of the shifter. That's for your parking brake. This is just your analog control for the volume and everything for the radio. We have a random cup holder here, and I actually do not know what this is. Oh, that's a wireless phone charger. I just learned something today. Anyways, opening this up, we've got some extra storage space here, and then opening this up, we've got even more storage space in the center console, more cup holders, and then just notice all of it's covered in leather. Like everything has covered in nice materials, and even the glove box, look at the handle, it's nice metallic trim lined with felt, and then there's leather on the outside. Like this interior, top notch. Like it's a huge improvement over Maseratis in the past. Now up top here we do get a sunroof. It just has a manual function for opening and closing it, and then notice that we do have a nice like soft touch headliner, and then we do have the controls for the sunroof itself, universal garage door openers, and that's all for the top. So here's our window sticker for this Ghibli, and again you can see that it's a 2021 Ghibli S Q4 GranSport, and feel free to freeze a frame if you want to read all of the standard equipment that comes with this. There is quite a bit. One thing I noticed, it does have soft closed doors, and then here is the additional options this particular one has. I guess this one comes with an umbrella. That's pretty cool. Here's the total MSRP, $98,904. Let's take her out and see how she drives. So let's talk about visibility here before we set off in the Ghibli. There's your visibility over the hood. And then here's through both the mirrors. They do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. We are setting off here in the 2021 Ghibli, and let me turn down the air conditioning. It is just crazy how hot it is today. I am literally going to just be a puddle of sweat by the end of the day. But aside from that, let's actually talk about the Ghibli here. First off, it's really nice. They've definitely just slowly changed things over time with this car, and it's just such a nice luxury car. This road is definitely not perfect, and it's just very smooth over the whole road. Like this would be a very comfortable car to daily drive. And then on the seating perspective, these seats are actually really comfortable. They're like the perfect amount of firmness, right? So that you're not kind of like sinking into the seat, but then they're just soft enough that they're not uncomfortable. It's like they perfectly tuned the seat. I love it. And then aside from that, really quiet, like All I can hear is the AC blasting, and I mean, that is pretty much it. Like, it's really nice. And the exhaust, though, you can always kind of hear it rumbling in the background. It's a very nice sound. Like, I've said this in all of my Maserati videos, they just make the best stock exhausts, like, right out of the bag. They just always sound absolutely fantastic, and the Ghibli here is definitely no different from that perspective. But we'll get up and we'll pop it into the sport mode. We won't get our acceleration yet. I just want you guys to hear the slight difference. Right, I'm not getting on it enough, but you can hear the valves open when you do pop it into the sport mode, and it's definitely exciting. Now I'm gonna put it in the manual mode so I can use these paddles. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, Maserati just nails it with the paddle feel. Most car manufacturers just put little plastic paddles and they just don't quite feel that exciting. This, on the other hand, just, it feels so cool. Like, you feel like you're doing something significant and you're just changing the gear. Like, coming around this corner, the actuation is perfect. Like, this has paddles that you actually want to use because of how nice they are. Like, other car manufacturers definitely need to take notes from Maserati, and obviously from Ferrari as well, because they're kind of borrowed from Ferrari. Well, not technically, but kind of at the same time. But with all that being said, oh, and guys, look, there's a C8 Corvette. Those are always cool to see. And it's actually right next to a Challenger. That's pretty cool. But let's get kind of like our full-blown acceleration here in the manual mode. Whew. Those gear shifts, they just so quick, just like instantaneous. I mean, you guys can see the downshifts, oh, and it sounds so good. Like, I'm gonna shut up. Yeah, I love that so much. That is such a nice sound. And this 8-speed automatic transmission, just perfect, so quick with the gear shifts. It is made by ZF. They're in a lot of cars nowadays, and there's a good reason. It's because it's such a smooth transmission, and on top of that, it's so quick. Like, it just knocks off the gears just instantly all the time. And that'll get me into summing things up here with the Ghibli. And sorry about the air conditioned sound. I'm trying my best to have it low so you guys can hear me, but at the same time, it's that hot today. So exterior wise, it's a really good looking car. Every time I see a Maserati in the road, doesn't matter what it is, the road presence for the brand is actually really good. Interior wise, like, I love it. All the touch points are nice. Everything looks nice. Like, this feels like a really upscale luxury car interior. Maserati's absolutely nailed it. Anything that you've heard in the past about the brand not having the nicest interior, it's not a thing anymore. They just have absolutely nailed it with the interior. Driving experience, it's amazing. This is a very nice luxury car, but it has a sporty side to it, and it also just sounds so nice. The transmission's really responsive. Like, this is a really cool dual purpose car. Again, you could daily drive this and just have it in the normal mode, have it in the automatic mode, and just have luxury car driving. But then you find your favorite back road, and right, you just you just get into it a little bit, go through the gears in manual mode, and man, you will have a blast. So yeah, that is the new Ghibli. It is definitely a thing of art. Now that's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2021 Ghibli GranSport. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Maserati of Salt Lake for giving me some time with the Ghibli. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.